The Mask finally arrives on 4K. Is it a lackluster transfer or is it smoking? What's going on, everybody? Tom Chattelbash here, and if you love movies and TV like I do and you still want to watch this video despite that terrible Jim Carrey impression, then rest assured you're in the right place, and without further ado, let's review the new 4K disc of The Mask from Arrow Video. Now, I have been so excited for this 4K disc. I adore The Mask. I mean, Jim Carrey was my idol growing up. He still is an idol of mine. I have probably seen every Jim Carrey movie ever made, but The Mask, the amount of times I watched this movie growing up, I could probably quote it by heart. I mean, I have watched it on TV countless times, on VHS, on DVD, on Blu-ray. Every format you could think of, I have watched it on, and countless times. So it was safe to say I was very, very excited for this transfer. However, I was going in a little bit trepidatious just because earlier this year we got a 4K edition of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, another one of my favorite Jim Carrey movies, and I was very let down by that transfer. I thought that was very lackluster. I felt like that could have been so much better than it actually was. And so I'm a little bit guarded going into this release. However, this new 4K collector's edition from Arrow is an absolute must-get for collectors. I mean, not only do you get the movie in 4K, obviously, but you get a whole booklet of pictures and behind-the-scenes stuff. You get a bunch of photographs that are inside the case itself, which are really cool, which, you know, you can see here. There's a bunch of them. So they really kind of give you the bang for the buck here. And, of course, you have your 4K disc inside. It's just a really nice, well-made package here for the movie, and it feels very premium, and it feels like it's actually worth your money. But putting all that aside, let's talk about the 4K transfer here, because that's the important thing. Is it a worthy pickup for fans of this movie? Now, this comes to us in Dolby Vision and also Dolby Atmos, so we get a big upgrade in both the video and the audio department here. This was, you know, scanned from the original camera negative, so that's usually a green flag for me whenever I'm reading about some of the tech specs of a 4K release. And I'm very, very happy to report that this is fantastic. This is a phenomenal 4K transfer that absolutely does this great comedy justice, and it looks pretty much just as good as I thought it was going to in the format. First, let's talk about video. So we get that Dolby Vision upgrade here, and just from like the opening frames alone, as soon as that title card comes up, you are hit with such a blast of color, or especially when you get to the first scene at the Coco Bongo Club. The color just leaps off the screen. It's almost too bright in a great way, but the colors here are so rich, are so vibrant. Even Stanley Ipkiss's apartment just pops so much more than it has in any other format, and the colors throughout are just beautiful. And when Jim Carrey is the Mask, you know, and he's wearing these vibrant suits and wearing these crazy eccentric outfits, it just looks fantastic. And the clarity, the uptick in detail, that's really great too. I mean, look, there's still some film grain there, which is great. It's resolved nicely. It feels consistent. It doesn't feel like the film grain is overbearing or getting in the way of some good clarity. There are some really beautiful looking shots, and the image here just looks and feels so much more three-dimensional than it has in any other format, and I'm really happy with what I saw here. I mean, throughout, I was just smiling like a little kid because it genuinely felt like I was like watching it for the first time again, because it's just never looked this good before. I mean, just the textures of clothing, how good the close-ups look, how, you know, rich and vibrant the blacks look here. I mean, the blacks are nice and inky, they're deep, they really give you a nice contrast here. The contrast here is fantastic, especially in a lot of the dimly lit scenes, like when Stanley's going on that bridge in the beginning parts of the film and he's finding the mask for the first time. That looked stunning in 4K. But in terms of the video here, you're not going to be disappointed if you're a fan of this movie. I mean, I've never seen so much of the texture of the mask itself, where you can kind of see all the little the ripples and where it might open up and whatnot, which kind of, I think, just adds to the charm and also just the quality of the 4K overall. This is a stunning looking disc, and I'm so happy to say that, because I always thought that The Mask was one of the best looking comedies of the 90s in terms of its cinematography. I mean, it's based on comics and it's shot like a comic book film that just so happens to be a studio comedy as well, and I'm really glad that it looks as good as it should, I think, on 4K. Then we get to the audio, which frankly surprised the hell out of me, because when I heard that we were getting an Atmos track here, again, I'm a little bit trepidatious because a lot of comedies and a lot of movies in general have gotten Atmos mixes, coming from 5.1 tracks, where it's just underwhelming, where they're just kind of doing very minimal things with the high channels, or maybe not even utilizing them much at all, where it just becomes very disappointing and making you think, why did they even go for an Atmos track? But I can assure you the Atmos track here is so lively, it is so fun, and those high channels are absolutely utilized. I mean, there's, rain early on that I felt like was coming down from the ceiling, and anytime a character puts on the mask, it is a thunderous blast of sound. At least it was in my room, where the surrounds are so active and so fun and dynamic, where the sound is just going everywhere, up, down, left to right. It's beautiful, and it absolutely immerses you in this really wacky, fun comedy. And all the action sequences really just have an added kick here. There's great bass, there's just great use of the soundstage overall, where it just feels the most immersive it ever has. And it made me smile like an idiot so many times, because I was like, I have never heard that scene like that before, and I couldn't be happier with it. So yeah, I'm a happy Mask fan. I can't hide that. It's just, I wanted this movie on 4K for so long, but this is beyond my wildest dreams of what it could have looked and sounded like. And I think if you're a fan of this movie, I would be shocked if you were disappointed by this 4K release, and I absolutely think it is worth the upgrade. I mean, really the only nitpick I can give it is that there are some shots that do look a little bit soft, which is probably just because some of the camera focus pulling wasn't all that good in the 90s when they were filming this movie. And also there are some moments where I felt like it could have looked a little bit sharper or a little bit more refined, but such minor nitpicks in an otherwise great 4K disc, people. One of the best of the year for sure. So that's my take on the new 4K disc of The Mask. It officially releases on November 11th. So next week when it comes out, let me know what you think of this new 4K disc if you pick it up. And if you were on the fence about picking it up, are you more inclined to do so now? Let me know down below. And until next time, everybody, I'm Tom Chattelbash, YouTube's most reliable movie critic.